Germany has reported intercepting 3 Russian military aircraft flying without transponder signals in the international airspace over the Baltic Sea. Germany and Britain sent Eurofighter jets to identify the 2 Sukhoi 27 fighter aircraft and 1 Ilyushin 20 aircraft. The Russian military aircraft regularly fly from mainland Russia to Kaliningrad and back. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says the situation related to the Black Sea grain deal has reached a deadlock. Russia has signaled that it may not agree to extend it further unless the West removes obstacles and sanctions. The pact was renewed for 60 days last month. In July last year, Russia signed a 3-year deal in which the UN agreed to help try and remove any obstacles to its grain and fertilizer exports. Moscow says restrictions on payments, logistics and insurance are a barrier to shipments. Ukraine's territorial defense has conducted drills near the Belarus border. The soldiers carried out routine drill practices, procedures strengthening their skills, from weapon safety procedures to movement in formation. The soldiers also executed training missions. The activities included neutralizing enemy equipment, storming and retreating, and also evacuating the wounded. Latest figures show more than 1 million children in United Kingdom received food aid last year. This is an increase of 300,000 over the last numbers released. According to UK's largest food bank, Trussell Trust Charity, nearly 3 million food parcels were distributed in the last 12 months, out of which more than 1.1 million went to children. The number of emergency packages for children the previous year was just 800,000. Britain's Home Office has issued a letter asking around 8,000 Afghan refugees staying in hotels at government expense to find their own accommodation. According to reports, the people who received the letter are Afghan evacuees who came to the UK after the Taliban took over Afghanistan. Under the new plan, refugees arriving from Afghanistan will not be given hotel accommodation, and whoever turns down an offer of housing will not receive a second offer. Pope Francis is visiting Hungary. He is expected to discuss the war in Ukraine, migration and Europe's Christian roots while on his 3-day trip. Pope will also be meeting Hungary's nationalist Prime Minister Viktor Orban. It will be his first trip since he was hospitalized for bronchitis back in March. While the main purpose of the trip is meeting with Hungarian Catholics, Francis acknowledged that its content is affected by current events, specifically Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Hungary, which supports a sovereign Ukraine but still has strong economic ties with Russia, has refused to send weapons to Ukraine. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol is on a 6-day tour of the United States. US President Joe Biden and Yoon are eager to discuss their countries' deepening partnership. In an increasingly volatile Pacific region, North Korea is ramping up nuclear-capable missile production, and China is threatening Taiwan ahead of the South Korean and US presidents visited the Korean War Memorial. A poll on US President Joe Biden announcing his re-election bid has met with a mixed response. According to a poll, about half of US Democrats say that US President Joe Biden should not seek re-election next year and that he is too old to run. Among Democrats, 47% would like to see the president run in 2024, while 42% of the public approve of how Biden is handling his job as president. Republicans had lashed out at President Joe Biden's announcement yesterday. Now, Elon Musk appears to have revealed that he has a secret anonymous burner account on Twitter. The chief executive had shared a screen grab of his own account, intending to use the image to demonstrate how to use Twitter's subscriptions feature. But the screenshot accidentally revealed another image, giving out telling details, generating speculations about Musk owning a burner account. China has called Taiwan's struggle to maintain its free sovereign existence a separatist act. China's foreign ministry spokesperson has said that UK Foreign Minister James Cleverly issued a warning over the future of Taiwan. According to Cleverly, an invasion of the self-ruled Taiwan would destroy world trade, and that would be nothing short of a catastrophic blow to both the Chinese and the global economy. The United States and Philippines held joint military exercises in the South China Sea. China's foreign ministry has said that the defense cooperation between the US and Philippines should not heighten tensions or undermine mutual trust in the region. US troops in Philippines launched air missiles for a live-fire exercise at a naval base in the north of Manila. The drills are part of a two-week annual bilateral exercise between Manila and Washington, with over 17,000 soldiers participating in the exercises. India has reported 9,629 infections in the last 24 hours. The new cases show that the course of the virus has changed. The total duration of the illness has shortened, ranging from 1 to 3 days, as opposed to 14 to 15 days seen earlier. Meanwhile, China has detected 275 new COVID-19 subvariants within 7 days. While the new subvariant has similar symptoms like the earlier strains, a new report shows a person could suffer from conjunctivitis if infected with Arcturus, something never seen before in the COVID virus. India has evacuated more than 500 of its nationals from conflict-hit Sudan. India launched Operation Kaveri to rescue stuck nationals in the region. Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that about 534 nationals have reached Port Sudan and there are more on their way. He further assured that the Indian ships and aircraft are set to bring Indians back home. Jaishankar further thanked his Saudi counterpart in the evacuation efforts. Saudi Arabia has emerged as a key country which is ferrying out stranded citizens. China is to evacuate around 1,100 nationals from the conflict-ridden nation. So far, thousands of foreign nationals, diplomats and aid workers, students and their families found themselves stuck in Sudan after a catastrophic power struggle broke out between the two warring generals of Sudanese army and a paramilitary force known as the RSF. It's been almost 2 weeks since the infighting erupted. Keeping our focus on Sudan, fighting has flared up in the country yet again despite a 72-hour truce brokered by the United States of America and Saudi Arabia. and it has clearly failed. The Sudan Armed Forces and the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces agreed to a 72-hour truce on Tuesday after the negotiations mediated. The fighting has turned residential areas in Sudan into battlefields. Airstrikes and artillery have killed at least 459 people so far and wounded 4,000 more. It has also destroyed hospitals and limited food distribution in a nation where a third of its 46 million people rely solely on food aid. After massive conflicts and infighting, Sudanese capital Khartoum is on the risk of facing a biological hazard. The World Health Organization said that there was a high risk of biological hazard in the Sudanese capital after one of the warring parties seized a national laboratory holding measles and cholera pathogens and ejected the technicians. Speaking via video link from Sudan, the WHO's Nima Saeed said that technicians had been thrown out of the National Public Health Laboratory, which also contains blood supplies. Now, South Africa is not planning to quit the International Criminal Court, as earlier suggested by President Cyril Ramaphosa. The President's office cited a communication error from the ruling ANC party. Ramaphosa had said that his African National Congress had decided to withdraw South Africa from the International Court. The International Criminal Court is a court of last resort for the world's worst crimes when countries cannot or will not prosecute suspects. In March, the International Criminal Court announced an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin. The United States has claimed that the Taliban has killed the leader of the Islamic State cell responsible for the Afghan airport bombing in August of 2021. The suicide bombing had killed about 170 Afghans and 13 US servicemen and women. According to reports, the leader who planned the attack was killed in recent weeks. An official has said that the United States had not been involved in the raid. The official further stressed that the US is not partnering with the Taliban. The US exit from Afghanistan resulted in the Taliban regaining control of the entire country and created a refugee crisis as many Afghans fled the country. Now, India has conducted the first ever comprehensive census of the country's water bodies. The report stated that over half of India's 2.4 million water bodies are privately owned. It said most of the water bodies are in West Bengal, followed by Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and Assam. The census provides a comprehensive inventory of India's water resources, including natural and man-made water bodies. A wild grass variant could be the answer to the world's need for climate-friendly fuel alternatives. A small town in northeastern France is using miscanthus, a wild variety of grass usually found in Asia and Africa, as a replacement to burning wood as a source of energy. The town of Bernwiller is using miscanthus. It is a perennial wild grass variety and it has successfully replaced wood in their communal boiler rooms. Now, residents carried out successful tests to replace wood chips that were earlier used to heat the community boiler rooms.